Hello, my name is Joshua Cameron, and I'm here to bring you toward goodness, or in this case, bringing toward goodness to you because that's the name of my business. Now, did you know that nearly all of our limiting beliefs are formed from the age of 0 to 7 when we're told no and you can't more than any other time in our lives? Did you know that then informs our personality, which is forged by about the age of 12? Imagine your beliefs and personality as clothes. What would you look like wearing a shirt from when you were 12? Who other than me would look ridiculous doing that? What about religion or spirituality? Has anyone ever examined what they believe? Or were you given at a young age what your beliefs were and likely still are to this day? Parents and peers telling you what religion you are, what you believe, what spirituality is and means to you, and like a relay racer, simply taking the baton and moving forward with it instead of asking if this race is even what you should be doing. A little bit about me. I got inspired by Jordan Peterson when I suspended my disbelief about the Bible long enough to hear him actually secularize Genesis, and it blew my mind. It immediately allowed me to see this as ancient wisdom instead of assuming it was just Babylonian ignorance. He then went on to say that what we should do in life is to create the highest ideal of goodness of which we can conceive and then make ourselves worthy of it. So I did. Doing this brought me to new people I'd never heard of or met in my life, and yet my life changed for the better at every turn. After training with my master healer who taught me, I've had the honor and privilege to do some work with our veterans. Me being a combat veteran myself, learning how to heal myself and my own psychic wounds from war has helped me to help others. Right? Who here knows of a veteran? How many of you have heard of war-related PTSD completely changing a soldier and they lose themselves to the horrors of it? What would it mean to that veteran and their family if that curse of PTSD could be lifted? What if simply by believing in something I was willing to make myself worthy of, something built on love and acceptance, I was then brought on a path where I could heal others' mind and body? Is that really such an outlandish thing to think? Is that so different from what sacred doctrines have told us all along? Living here in Utah, people often stand up and say words about their testimony. Many people, it's obvious that they don't believe the words coming out of their mouths and they are just doing what they're expected to do. I have found that belief in a greater goodness is not the same as belief in the written word, similar to the idea of the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. Too many people follow the letter and not the spirit. This is what Jordan Peterson, or rather, this is why Jordan Peterson made so much sense, because he represented the Bible as an anthology of wise parables, not literal history. I spent over 10 years working in the medical field, and specifically within pediatric medical research at the University of Utah, working with the Center for International Blood and Marrow Transplant Research that tracks cancer patients and captures their data, again, in pediatrics. Now, how many people have heard that stress causes cancer? So if stress causes cancer in a patient, does it make sense to deal with the cause? Or instead to eradicate their entire immune system with radiation and chemotherapy, which leads to death in many cases? The treatment is so dangerous it destroys the patient's quality of life and can even rob them of that life to boot. You don't need to believe me. In fact, I encourage you to be skeptical. The only thing I ask is not to be dogmatic, because it neither serves you nor those around you. Dogmatic means to be skeptical and closed-minded. If you can't have your mind changed and you're skeptical, where's there room to learn from experience and outside feedback? Be skeptical. And like a spiritual teacher of mine, Sadhguru, would say, life is about experience, isn't it? Do you want to be as a child who says, no, I don't like it, just to have the parent in sheer exasperation say, how do you know? You've never even tried it. Is that what life is about? Staying in the mind, which will always tell us that we're right, or to step out and try new things and figure out where we can add to our calculus and quality of life? If you take a step with me, I can help you connect to that great I am within yourself. This is not a myth. This is not a child story. This is the source of strength and power unlike anything in the world.